It was actually during the conversation that I had with one of the directors and writers of Frozen, Jennifer Lee. She asked me where I lived, and I said, well, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. She was like, oh, wow. And I was like, oh, wow, what? And she was like, well, I mean, you just won an Oscar, but you don't live in Los Angeles, or I mean, is there a big film community in Jacksonville? And I was like, I mean, it's growing and there's a lot of potential, which is why I love it there. And she said, well, I think you should move here. And I said, why? And she said, well, I mean, I just feel like you should live where the work is. And you know, I just kind of, I mean, this is a woman who is written and directed the highest grossing animated film of all time, and I could have just said, yeah, you know what, I should move to LA, thank you so much, Jennifer. But instead I said, I feel like the city that I live in right now, Jacksonville, it has a lot of potential, and I feel like I'm part of the generation of artists that is going to be pushing the city to where it needs to go, to be the greatest city that it can be.
You know, we casually met a few times, we casually interacted. I went and saw his film when he screened it for his senior thesis, and then we finally, you know, he moved to my side of town, and we finally, you know, reached out to one another and said, like, we really need to have a coffee and like talk about our lives, I guess, and like figure out, you know, how we can work together and like, you know, create things together. And let's see if like that was really the conversation. It was like, hey, we should get coffee and see how we can be in each other's lives. That's really what it was. And so we had coffee, and then we were like, yeah, we're gonna do almost everything together from now on. And that's how we ended up where we are. I explain the gray area as a non-traditional documentary that we've nicknamed a perspective film. And the film is my perspective as a masculine female, and the anxieties, limitations, strange experiences that I've had throughout my life and still currently being a masculine female, and I guess trying to explain that to people and kind of coping with the assumptions that come along with that. I wanted to co-direct because I think that there needs to be an outside perspective involved in the film. Someone who gets it, but who is also disconnected from it, who sees the things that I don't see. There are so many aspects of this film that I felt like only I would be able to understand, execute, and make sure we're done specifically. You know, I had this vision, and I knew that, or I still know, that I'm the only person that has the perspective to make sure certain things are talked about, to make sure certain things are presented a certain way, and to make sure that it's done in a way that I believe will be the most effective because of, you know, because of the place that I'm coming from with it. And then I wanted somebody outside of that who is disconnected from it, but gets it and will treat it respectably. And I firmly believed when I saw Drew's work that he was the person that could do that. So I think the brilliance in us co-directing it is that with me, there's this very, very intense truth that I'm addicted to. I want it to be so true and so accurate and so real. And with Drew, he brings in the cinematic element of it, where what's it look like from across the room, you know? So I'm telling you and showing you what it's like to be me and the truth behind that. And Drew is saying what it's like, you know, he's bringing in what it's like to watch me or to be around me, and turning that into like this, you know, incredible visual combination of truth and cinema, you know, really, artistically.
I feel like it is growing in such a positive way that for me as an artist, my work is only getting better because I'm making it here. Because I'm working with so many people who support other Jacksonville artists who are uplifting us, which is really great, which is something I'm not sure I'd be able to have in a bigger city where I haven't created before, where I don't have a lot of collaborators or connections and that type of thing. So as for right now, I really love staying in Jacksonville and working here.